Welcome to another geometry practice. In the previous videos, we learned this. We are given a right triangle. So this is what we already know. We say if it is a right triangle, if it is in a right triangle, then we will know what? We'll know c squared is a squared and plus b squared. So c is our hypotenuse. So hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the square of the length of two other legs. Okay, so you already know this is right triangle, then you will say c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Today we're going to do is converse. Converse is we don't know. But we found, there's a relationship of these three sides of the triangle. Let's call this longest side of the triangle C. Don't call it hypotenuse yet because we don't know if it's a right triangle or not. We're going to find it out. So if we find the longest side, we square the longest side, it equals the sum of the square of the length of two other sides. One is called A, one is called B. The relationship is equals. Now we can say, okay, this is a right triangle. For example, I'm going to give to you three numbers, okay? Let's play with the small ones to see if you remember this. I give you 3, 4, 5. Remember the longest one, that's C. The other one you can assign whichever is A, whichever is B, does not matter. You can say, this is my B, this is my A. Does not matter, okay? All right. But I always like to use the short one as A, longer one as B. Now, we're going to test out. Of course, if you remember, you can spot immediately. You say, this is a Pythagorean triple, then definitely it is right triangle. If you don't remember, you can do this. Is this squared plus this squared? Is this 5 squared? The answer is yes. Then we say, okay, then it is right triangle. That's it. That's how you do it. Let's practice a few more rounds. Is it a right triangle? I'm gonna give you next one. I have 9, I have 12, and I have 15. Remember the longest side, we say it's C. This is my A, this is my B. Wait a minute, what did I just say? I say this is 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 3 times 5. They all multiplied by a 3. Then I say, that's my Pythagorean triple. Right? So obviously, this is a multiple of 3, 4, 5. So it is a right triangle. Let's test out one more. I'm looking at this. How about I give you 36 and 48 and 60 and go ahead, test it out. Is this a right triangle? All you need to find is a squared plus b squared in this case, is it equals? If it's a yes, then it is right triangle. Okay, let me know what is your discovery. Did you find out yes? Okay, then it is a right triangle. All right, what if it's not equal? What if it's less than? Let's look at this rule. We're going to talk about it in English. We say if the square of the longest side of the triangle is less than the sum, talk about the sum first, of the squares of the length of two other sides. I meant to write then. Okay, then we have acute triangle. All right, okay, let's look at acute triangle. See if I have a good example on my paper. All right, let's say if I'm going to give to you, okay, go ahead and label the longest one as C and the other one as B as A. We're going to test out, is C squared, is it less than A squared plus B squared? We're going to put down A squared and B squared. So A is 10 squared and 11 squared. All right, go ahead and test it out. Is it true? Okay, if it's yes, then we get a acute triangle. Did you find out 14 squared is indeed less than the sum of 10 squared and 11 squared? That's a acute triangle. All right, let's talk about our third rule. We talk about equals, we talk about less than. What if it's greater than? Okay, let's talk about it in English. We see symbols, now we'll talk about it in English. Is if the square, that's a square, of the length of the longest side of a triangle we call it C is greater than the sum of the square of the two other sides, then it is obtuse triangle. I have a good example here. Let's say, oh, how about this one? Let's look at it. Do not be afraid of radicals. You know what to do. If you don't know, I'm here to help you, okay? All right. So, what is the square root of 43? If you want, you can use your calculator, and I will also in another video show you how to square root any number without using calculator. Alright, here I already know, and because I've done a lot of times, and also as the students come from China, we were asked to memorize lots of values, and this is one of the things we got to memorize. So square root of 43 is approximate to 6.6, so times 6, so 6.6 times 6. Alright, this one is about 39.6, so this is my C. It's important you determine which is C, which is B, which is A, which is the longest one. You got to determine that first. And you can start to do this after you determine. You're going to say is, 43. Let me erase this. It's 43 squared. Is it equal to this 2 squared? Or is it less than? Or is it greater than? Which one? It has to be one of the relationship. Remember, if it is equal, then it will be right triangle. Less than, it will be acute triangle. Greater than, that will be obtuse triangle. All right, let's find out. I'm going to use this part as my scrap paper. So 6 times square root 43 squared is, let's do some baby step. Just make sure you still have this from your pre-algebra and algebra 1. It's 6 squared times square root 43 squared. If this is squared, which means we get a 43. Okay? So 6 squared times 43. And this gives me 36 times 43. Go ahead and use your pencil and paper and find out what is 36 times 43. Or you can use a calculator. And here I already worked it out. And I have... Very good. And then I'm going to calculate this side. So 30 squared is 900. 24 squared is 576. We're going to add it together. That is 1476. Okay, very good, very good. All right, now, so the left side, you have 1,548. The right side, you have 1,476. The relationship is not equal, not less than, but greater than. All right, so happy we're about to find the answer. I start to sing. Now, we find a greater than. Which rule we're going to use? We're going to use this rule. If the square of the longest side of the triangle is greater than the sum of the square of the length of the two other sides, then the triangle is, ready, obtuse triangle. That's it. Happy learning.